2021년은 마틴기타 역사 중에서 큰 전환점이 될 만한 시기가 아니었나 생각됩니다. 코로나19로 인해 전 세계적으로 매우 이례적인 팬데믹 현상이 발생했고, 마틴기타는 190여 년의 역사 중에서 최초로 가족이 아닌 전문 경영인을 CEO로 모시게 됩니다. 바로 토마스 립삼이었죠. 안녕하세요, 우리악기사 김실장입니다. 오늘은 특별히 마틴기타 CEO인 토마스 립삼님을 직접 모셔서 근 3년간의 경험과 마틴기타의 현재, 그리고 앞으로 출시하게 될 신모델 등에 관한 인터뷰를 해보았습니다.
Hello, and it's an honor to be here. My name is Thomas Ripsam, and I'm the president and CEO of Martin Guitars. The experience has been fantastic. I joined as the CEO nearly 3 years ago, and I knew about Martin Guitars before I joined. I owned several Martins already when I joined, and I had known the company for a very long time. I played guitars since my teens, and so I knew how special Martin Guitars was in the world of guitars, and especially acoustic guitars. So for me to be the first leader from outside the company was a very big honor for me. I'm very humbled that I had the opportunity to join the team, and so far it's been a fantastic experience. Our challenge during the pandemic, like other companies as well, especially in the guitar space where the industry experienced a boom in demand, was to hire people to basically increase our production of guitars. So we focused a lot on hiring, but at the same time we also always thought that at some point the boom will peak and then will probably be over. And so we didn't want to hire too many people to at the end up with a situation where we had to let people go. And so we focused a lot on getting the balance right between adding production but not adding too much production so that we had stability in the business. But to your question about the challenges, pandemic presented near-term challenges. I think the musical instruments industry overall has a lot of challenges to deal with. Consumers are changing, channels are becoming more complicated, materials are harder to source. Consumers now have probably more choices when you think about products from different manufacturers than ever. So what that means for a company like Martin is we cannot just rely on the past. We have to continue to innovate, and we have to make sure that what we do is relevant today and will be relevant in the future. So a few things, for instance, that we did was we rolled out a new brand last year that helped us to connect with a broader audience. We continue to roll out many new products, which is always important, but we also made significant investments in our website, our social media outreach, and how we connected with consumers. So these are some of the things that we've been working on, and I think the results that we've seen have exceeded our expectations. Well, I think at Martin Guitars, we always try to understand what demand is out there, what are consumers and players looking for, and how our offerings address the needs and the likes and the wants of players in the world today, and where the trends are going. So for us, as you mentioned, it's a balanced approach. So for instance, we do think there's a lot of value in looking back in the Martin history and bring out new products such as our Authentic line, which basically provides models from the last century but reissued, like a D28 Authentic 1937, which you can get in an aged version, which basically gives you pretty much the same as a vintage D28 guitar. So that's one example. But then we also have examples like the SC13, which were really designed with a different player in mind who values playing in a high register, maybe playing both electric and acoustic guitar, so playability was really important, and of course the sound. So what's really important for us is understanding consumers and connecting what we do to real consumer needs. The other thing I would also say, we do cover many price points as Martin Guitars. We have definitely seen a big pickup for custom guitars, and that is certainly an area that we will continue to heavily play in, and we have some really exciting new offerings in our pipeline to also address the needs of players that like to collect guitars or have a broader palette of very high-end guitars. HBL has its uses, but it addresses a certain type of guitars, set of guitars. We still use exotic tone woods in many of our guitars, and that comes with a certain price point. And we continue to experiment with new materials, or materials such as Richlight that I mentioned, or veneers, or using more combinations of woods. You know, like with the Inception maple, we used maple and walnut. So we work with the materials that are available, but we also think there is a broad spectrum of guitars and instruments that these materials enable today, and we're going to continue to work it that way. Different guitars and instruments work for a different price point and for different consumers, and that's kind of our approach. Yeah, so the X series has been around for quite a while, and it's been a really important guitar in our portfolio, actually a family in our portfolio. And at the same time, we collected inputs from our customers and dealers and distributors about things that they would like to see incorporated in maybe a renewed X series. And so we took that feedback, and the key differences are really threefold. One, we wanted to improve the playability of the guitar, which comes from a slightly slimmer neck, and it's a more refined neck that allows you to hold the guitar more easily and play and cover all the registers of the guitar. So that's one improvement. The other thing we wanted to do is enhance the aesthetics. When you look at the finishes and back and sides, we basically offer veneers, different veneers. For example, Brazilian rosewood veneer, which looks fantastic. Cocobolo is another one. So we added the aesthetics through different enhanced veneers. And then from a sound perspective, there was also feedback that we should incorporate electronics. So the new X series also includes actually our own pickup inside, the E1. And so those are the key differences. And we are very excited. The feedback, I think, so far from players as well as the trade, magazines, and experts has been overwhelmingly positive. And so we hope that players out there will give it a try and hopefully like it. Well, wouldn't that be nice if I could give you a hint? Well, we do have quite some exciting products in the pipeline. As you know, we like to work with artists. So in the artist realm, you'll see new releases, some later this year, some early next year. But that's exciting. That's as far as I can go there. We also obviously constantly think about designs and shapes, and we have some cool new things in store that frankly you haven't seen from Martin for a while. So that's as far as I will go. But yeah, we do have quite a few really exciting things that are in store. What we heard from people that are Martin lovers is that what Martin does for them, what the instruments do, and the connection with Martin, it brings out their creativity and it gives them more confidence when they play. But it allows them to be themselves and bring out the best they want and can be as players, as musicians, as singer-songwriters. And so we came up with our new brand, which is all about unleashing the inner artist within you. So what that means is there is creativity in you, and the instrument is just one tool to wake up and bring out what you have in you. But we all want to be creative, and that creativity is what Martin Guitars, what we want to help our players to bring out.
마틴 기타에 관한 궁금했던 질문들을 1대1로 기업의 수장에게 직접 듣는 시간은 정말 값진 경험이었습니다. 인터뷰에 응해주신 마틴 기타 CEO 토마스 립삼님과 함께 방문해주신 본사 세일즈 디렉터 릭 포레로 이사님, 그리고 경은 트레이딩 관계자 여러분들께 이 자리를 빌어 다시 한번 감사드립니다. 한 기업이 200년 가까운 시간 동안 최고의 자리를 유지한다는 점은 기업 가치를 돈으로 환산할 수 없을 만큼 위대한 것임이 분명합니다. 항상 전통적인 것을 고집하는 줄 알았지만 알고 보면 기타에 사용되는 거의 대부분을 최초로 개발했던 가장 혁신적이고 창의적인 기업이 바로 마틴기타였습니다. 지금까지 우리악기사 김성민 실장이었습니다. 감사합니다.